This is the Life by Design with Angela Weiss podcast, episode 31, Tuesday edition. How to become secure, moving from patterns to stability. Have you ever found yourself thinking, I understand my patterns, but still I feel like I don't know how to change them? Like you can see it happening in real time. You notice yourself checking your phone over and over after someone hasn't answered you. You notice yourself pulling away the second someone gets emotionally close. Or you notice yourself shutting down during conflict or becoming overwhelmed by reassurance not coming quickly enough. And part of you is aware of this, but another part of you is still doing it anyway. If that's where you are, then this episode is for you. Welcome back to the Life by Design with Angela Weiss podcast. I'm Angela Weiss, nurse practitioner, author, and someone who helps people understand themselves, their relationships, and how to actually move towards something more stable and secure. Before we begin, take a breath with me. Inhale slowly. And exhale. Wherever you are right now, whether you're driving or walking, cleaning your kitchen, putting up drywall, painting, or lying awake at night overthinking something someone said, just pause for a moment if you don't mind. Oh yeah, and there's this. I stumble over my words sometimes. My cat goes crazy whenever I record this. And that's usually when the dogs start to bark too. And I'm probably gonna, stop and get a drink of water or something. This is real life. There are no second takes in real life. And I want this to feel like a space where you can show up exactly as you are, like I do, which is often a little messy. So over the last several episodes, we've talked about anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, fearful attachment, and how these styles collide inside the relationships. We also talked a little bit about secure attachment, but today we're talking about not just understanding the patterns, but beginning to change them, beginning to become more secure. My goodness, am I stumbling today? So this is something that takes a little bit of time to learn how to do. I think sometimes people hear secure attachment and imagine someone who never struggles, someone calm all the time, never emotional, never triggered, never insecure. Does somebody like that even exist? That's not reality. Secure people still feel hurt. They still feel fear. They still feel disappointment. The difference is they don't let those feelings completely take over the relationship. They still have them. They just don't get to take control. Becoming secure does not mean you never get anxious or you never need reassurance or you never need space or you never feel overwhelmed. You still feel some of those things. It just means you learn how to respond to them instead of react to them. It means you stay connected to yourself while also staying connected to another person. And that takes practice and time and sometimes years. Wisdom. The first step is awareness. I know that sounds simple, but most people are functioning on autopilot emotionally. Something happens and immediately the reaction begins. Okay, maybe someone's tone didn't sit well with you. It maybe changed slightly and suddenly your mind starts saying, they're mad at me. I knew it. They're mad at me again. Or someone asks for space and your nervous system hears, they're leaving me. Everybody leaves me. Or someone gets emotionally too close. And suddenly you feel trapped, irritated, or exhausted. Awareness is learning to pause long enough to notice, what am I feeling right now? What story am I making up in my mind? What do I suddenly want to do? Do I want to text them repeatedly, shut down, leave, over-explain, pull away, become cold, people please, panic? Here's the important part of this. You notice it without shaming yourself. Shame keeps people stuck. I'm going to repeat that. Shame keeps people stuck. Awareness creates change. People often say, why am I like this? Attachment patterns usually began as a way to protect yourself. At one point, these reactions helped you survive emotionally. You might have learned love was inconsistent, conflict was unsafe, your needs overwhelmed people, you had to perform to receive affection, or vulnerability led to rejection. So your nervous system adapted, and now you're teaching it something new. Step 2, slowing down. Most attachment reactions happen fast, almost instantly. Text not answered, anxiety. Conflict, withdrawal. Closeness, overwhelm. Silence, overthinking. And if you don't slow the moment down, the pattern takes over before you even realize it. This is where becoming secure starts changing your life. Because instead of immediately reacting, you pause long enough to create space between what you feel and what you do next. Maybe instead of sending 6 paragraphs, you wait 30 minutes and send less. Maybe instead of disappearing emotionally, you say, hey, I'm overwhelmed right now, but I don't want to shut down on you. Maybe instead of assuming someone hates you, you ask for clarification. Secure functioning often looks very ordinary from the outside, but internally, it's someone choosing not to let panic make decisions for them. Step 3 is regulating your system. This is the part so many people miss. Attachment reactions are not just mental, they're physiological. Your body gets involved, your chest tightens, your stomach drops, your heart races, you feel restless, numb, frozen, or activated. So, if you try to logic yourself out of a nervous system response, it usually doesn't work very well for you. This is why someone can know this person probably still loves me while simultaneously feeling terrified that they're being abandoned. Your body has to learn safety too. Your body responds just like your mind. So regulation can look like deep breathing, box breathing, walking outside, putting your feet on the ground in the dirt, barefoot, cold water on your hands, splash cold water on your face, put an ice cube on the back of your neck and let it run down. Exercise, prayer, music, slowing down your breathing, stepping away briefly before responding. Not to avoid the conversation, but to return to it regulated. Sometimes secure attachment starts with learning your body has survived discomfort before, and it can again. Step 4 is choosing differently. This is where change actually happens. Not just understanding your patterns, but interpreting your patterns. Doing something different than what your nervous system automatically wants to do. Sometimes it's doing the opposite. For anxious patterns, This might look like not texting repeatedly, not monitoring someone's energy constantly, not over-explaining your worth, not trying to force reassurance immediately. Let's be honest, that can feel very uncomfortable at first because anxious attachment usually believes if I stop pursuing them, I'll lose the connection. But secure attachment learns real connection does not require panic to maintain it. And for avoidant patterns, this may look like not disappearing emotionally or minimizing your feelings, not pretending you don't care, not just staying in a difficult conversation longer than usual. Sometimes avoidant individuals learn that vulnerability felt unsafe. So closeness starts to feel overwhelming. And secure growth means learning connection is not the same thing as losing yourself. For fearful attachment, which often swings between anxious and avoidant, it might look like not idealizing someone one moment and pushing them away the next, not testing the relationship constantly, not creating distance after intimacy, not assuming love automatically ends in pain. And none of this happens perfectly. You will still have moments where old patterns show up. That does not mean you failed. It means you're human. Step 5 is building tolerance for safe connection. This is a huge part of healing because chaos can become familiar. Some people grew up around inconsistency, emotional unpredictability, mixed signals, emotional absence, or intensity. So calm relationships can initially feel boring or uncomfortable, suspicious, or emotionally flat. And sometimes people accidentally sabotage healthy connection because their nervous system associates intensity with love. And if there's no intensity, well, this must not be love. But secure attachment, that's quieter. It's more stable, consistent. Someone texts back. They show up. They do what they do what they say they're going to do. They communicate clearly, and they don't make you guess constantly where you stand. And oddly enough, that can feel unfamiliar if your past relationships were built around uncertainty or chaos. So part of becoming secure is learning to tolerate peace. Learning not to create problems where there aren't any. Learning not to run from the calm, to stay steady in it. Learning not to confuse chaos with chemistry. Step 6, boundaries and self-trust. Becoming secure also means learning to trust your system and knowing what works for you and what doesn't, what hurts you, what helps you, what you will accept and what you won't accept, and standing firm. Honoring those things without needing everyone else to agree first. No one else needs to agree with what's best there. You need to agree with yourself. A secure person is not someone who tolerates everything. It's someone who can stay compassionate while also protecting themselves. And that's also compassion for yourself. It's someone who can say this relationship matters to me, but I matter too, okay? I matter too. That's self-trust. And not everyone was taught that. A lot of people weren't taught that. I really want to say this clearly, that healing attachment patterns is not about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming consistent. It's not about becoming detached. It's not about never needing people. It's about becoming safer with your emotions, safer with connection with others, and connection with yourself. Safer with yourself. It's about becoming a more regulated version of who you already are, not a completely different person. If you're listening to this and thinking, I actually want to work on this, I created an attachment workbook to go along with this series. It seems to be helping a lot of people identify patterns, walk through the steps that we've talked about, recognize their triggers, and begin applying this work in real life relationships. And I've heard some people say it's already helping them heal their relationships. If you'd like a copy, email me at angela@lifebydesignpress.org and put attachment workbook in the subject line, and I will send that to you for free because I would love to see people healthy in healthy relationships. You are not stuck in the patterns you learned. You are someone who adapted, someone whose nervous system learned survival strategies. And now you get to decide which patterns still belong in your life and which ones don't. Becoming secure takes time. You have to practice it in moments, in small moments. The pause before reacting, the decision to communicate honestly to yourself and to others, the choice not to abandon yourself, the willingness to stay present when things feel uncomfortable. That's how change happens. That's how change happens. Practicing over and over again and again, one moment at a time. In the next episode, we'll talk about how to repair these relationships and what to do when these patterns have already played out. You can connect with me on my author website that I'll put in the show notes, or on Instagram at Angela Weiss Author, on Facebook at Life by Design Press, on LinkedIn, Angela Weiss. You can also find my books on Amazon, including Anxious Attachment, Avoidant Attachment, Fearful Attachment, Secure Attachment, When Attachment Styles Collide, and I have several more that will be out soon that I think that you're going to love. Because this space around relationships is where so many people are trying to understand why connection feels so difficult sometimes. Yeah, our relationships can be the best and the worst place of us, can't they? And I'm not just talking about romantic relationships, parent-child, sibling, friend, coworkers. Those are all relationships. And we got to figure out how to be better at doing life inside a relationship. Breaking the patterns, healing, doing better for ourselves, doing better for our future selves. Oh my goodness, if your future self could speak to you right now, he or she would say, please listen, please do the work, please do what you can to fix this. I need you to take care of this for me. Or maybe your future self is saying, thank you for listening to those podcasts on attachment styles, because that saved us from a world of hurt. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate you taking the time. I am here to help you live a healthier life. And healthy doesn't always have to mean food. Healthy is your mind. Healthy is your whole body. Healthy is putting it all together so that you can just be better for yourself, for your family, for your future self, for your spouse that you're looking for whatever it is. Thank you for showing up for yourself today. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your day. And if this helped you, please like, follow, share. That's how other people get to learn about this. I'm just one person here in the middle of Southeast Missouri trying to reach as many people as I can to help them feel better, like I do every day in my clinical world as I sit with patients. This podcast is intended for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for mental health care. If you are in a crisis, please call 911 or 988, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline in the United States. I will see you next week, or maybe on Thursday or Sunday. Take care.